So we've got Birch here. He's one of the dogs that has been hanging out with us here at the cabin. Been playing around with him. He's a fun dog. Get
a toad!
And
whoa, whoa!
There's a toad!
You have it?
I got it! I
Mario,
got it!
go get your camera.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna put him in my pocket. I had to slide all the way down this hill. Hold on, I'm coming up. I had my phone in my hand. Oh, yes! Look at this. Hold on a second. Wait for it. Oh, look at that little guy. That's a western toad. Look at that toad. You may be looking at this amphibian and saying to yourself, Coyote, why are you so excited about a toad? What you may not know is that the western toad is the only species of toad found in the state of Alaska. There are no reptiles here, and there are only 6 species of amphibians, 3 salamanders, 2 frogs, and this little bumpy toad. Now, I do know that this is a male, and the way I can identify it as such is look at these forefeet. You see those little pads on the bottom of the feet? Those are called nuptial pads, and they use those to help themselves navigate through the environment. The females do not have those pads. Females are larger than the males, and let's look at this toad's back. You see that ridgeline, all these bumps that run along the back? On a female, those are much more pronounced and reddish in coloration. You are one handsome little fella, you know that? Now, these toads are out here feeding on pretty much anything they can come across. Worms, bugs, slugs, you name it, this toad will eat it. And this is a completely safe species to capture. The only thing I've got going on for me right now that's a defense from this toad is it's peeing all over my hands. A little soap and water will wash that up, and I will be just fine. Now, you look at this toad and you think to yourself, boy, he doesn't have any claws, he doesn't have any big teeth, how does he defend himself? Well, as we know, most toad species do have toxins in their skin. That comes from the parotoid gland. The parotoid glands on this toad are very small. You can see him just behind the eyeball there. And he's not doing it now, but when I first caught him, he puffed up his body to make himself look bigger, and he was going beep, 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 and they vibrate their bodies. And that apparently will scare off a predator. I mean, I imagine if I came in and grabbed a hold of this toad, it would shake its body and make those noises. I'd be like, ooh, I'm not gonna mess with that guy. Oh, there it was. You gonna chirp again? Chirp, chirp, chirp. Hear that? Yeah, you knew that that's what we were talking about, didn't you? Now, they are slightly toxic to the animals here in this environment, but there are some predators out there for this amphibian. Ravens will eat them, eagles, and badgers have actually been known to consume these toads.
So, Coyote, how are these toads different from the toads back in Ohio?
I'll tell you something about the toads that live up here in Alaska. They're extremely tough. These animals have to deal with extremely cold temperatures during the winter, and what they'll do is burrow down deep in the mud, and some species of amphibians, like the wood frog, can actually freeze, and then they thaw out in the spring. Now, I'm not sure whether or not these toads freeze, but I can just tell that the skin is much more durable and rugged than some of the toad species that I find in Ohio. This is one tough little creature if it can survive freezing temperatures up here in Alaska. You also notice that the coloration of this toad is very light, almost cream colored, and that distinct white stripe that runs along the length of the back. The toads that I find in Ohio are usually dark brown in coloration, sometimes even black. Now, the skin is a little smoother, and it's also slightly sticky. That's because they absorb a lot of their moisture from their environments. The toads I find in Ohio are much drier than this one here. That's one good-looking toad. Now, I was told by Mario, our wildlife biologist, that you probably don't have a very good chance of finding any catchable creatures here in Alaska. But sure enough, I found the one toad species that can be found in this state. How cool was that? I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave. Stay wild. We'll see you on the next location. Come on, buddy, let's get you back into the forest.
You did it. You got the only toad in Alaska.
If you enjoyed this On Location episode, make sure to go back and watch as the crew and I kissed a moose. And don't forget, subscribe to the Brave Wilderness channel so you can join us on our next big adventure.